Right, g'day guys, Klint here for dropshipdownunder.com.au. Hope you're having an awesome day. Today I'm going to be talking about whether or not you should start just a local store, an Australian store, or think about building out a big international store. So with that, let's rip into the video. Righto guys, just before we kick off, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification, and give us a thumbs up if you're loving the content. Look, and also, if you're just starting out in dropshipping, I highly recommend you check out our free training in the description below. 2 hours of fantastic content that will really give you a nice little heads up. So with that, look, local or international store? This is the timeless question that I've got ever since I started Dropship Down Under and dropshipping generally. And I have my feelings on it, and a lot of people have their distinct feelings on it. But for me, I personally think you should just stick with the Aussie market, and I'm going to give you 3 reasons why. Look, first of all, you understand and know the Aussie market. You know it inside out, even if you haven't started dropshipping or selling anything online. You know what you buy, you know what people buy, you understand the Australian culture, you understand obviously our accent, our slang, just generally the way the Australian market moves around and operates, okay? You get an understanding of what Aussies tend to love, what we buy, what our passions are. Obviously everybody's different, but you just have a better understanding of the Australian market, before you've even started, okay? And why is this important, right? I mean, at the end of the day, what do you know about people that, buy or do or their passions in Alaska, for example? If you're selling to America, what do you know about people in Alaska? You know what I mean? People who are living in Manchester, England, what are their problems? Probably not much. I mean, what do you know about selling to people in South Africa? Even though they're all English speaking countries, which is what you will usually target if you've got an international company, but I mean website. But I mean, what do you know about their culture, about their passions, about how they live, and even as far as like their holidays and public holidays and all this sort of thing that you can target here in Australia. What do you know? Do you know about every English speaking's, what's the word? I'm looking for the wrong word. I can't spit it out, but yeah, you're getting what I'm getting at, guys. What do you know about all these different cultures, even though they're the same English-speaking language countries? I mean, the thing about being an Aussie, you know how the ebbs and flows of the Australian market. Okay, that's what I'm getting at. That's number one. Number 2 is there's no shipping. Sorry, I was just looking at my notes. There's no shipping, warranty, and currency issues, guys. Right? So shipping is, to multiple countries around the world is an absolute nightmare. Okay. It is chaos at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, it can be expensive, and there's just so many moving parts when it comes to drop shipping to multiple countries. Also warranty issues, trying to get stuff back to your supplier, from England or America or South Africa, or wherever, Ireland, wherever you're sending your gear and someone's got a warranty and you're shipping out of Australia or you're shipping out of China or wherever. But it's just a massive headache to try and navigate all of that kind of stuff. And the currency issue as well, even though that's you can negate that with Shopify. I mean, you can set your store up so that it only shows the currencies, in the home, in the currency where they're viewing it from, where they're viewing the store from. I'm struggling today, guys. I can't spit it all out. But, again, it's, you're dragging different currencies from all over the world. It's hard to set your pricing so it suits each market. Some places in the world are cheaper than others. Others are more expensive than others. And it's just a bit of a mess at the end of the day, guys. This is just me personally, and I'm not saying it can't be done, but this is just for people who are just starting out. I don't understand why you want to complicate everything at first, like you need a big worldwide company when you've got $50 on ad spend. Okay, do you understand what I'm getting at? I'm not saying you can't build, to the moon, but I'm just saying at first you need to sort of think about all these things, Again, so shipping is a nightmare. Warranties are difficult. Currency is something you need to think about. The last one and this is probably the most important when you're first starting out, is when you target Australia only, focus on the Australian market, you sort of tuned into what Aussies want. It's cheaper and more targeted advertising. At the end of the day, that's the key, right? That's the key to getting your first sales and really driving your store forward, maybe to the point of busting out internationally. Okay, but the key is to keep your ad spend low, or at least your ad costs low, and hyper targeted. Okay, so I used an example in another video the other day about the kayaks, fishing kayaks. All right, it's so easy to target just the Australian market, who people are focused on fishing kayaks. You know what I mean? You can just drill right down into there. It's nice and cheap, super targeted, like I said, and genuinely converts really high. You don't have this broad, shotgun scatter effect trying to get across the world to every single person that loves fishing kayaks. You can really dig deep into that niche right in the Australian market, make plenty of sales. You may not even need to ever go overseas at the end of the day, guys. I never have. I've had a few international stores and American stores, and I just closed them all down in the end and just focused on the Australian market, and it is more than big enough, guys. Anyone who tells you that it's not is wrong. Wrong. Actually, I'll give you an analogy, right? Just before we wrap this video up. Good analogy is, right? Just think about it, okay? You're going to start a sporting wear store, selling all sorts of sports gear, whatever, sweatshirts, hoodies, all this sort of stuff, sweatpants, all this sort of stuff, right? Tracksuit pants, all the rest of it. If you had a successful store doing 500 grand in the local shopping center, right, would you be thinking to yourself, I think I'm going to move my next store to Texas, America, or I'm going to move it to Manchester, England, or, or would you move your really successful, would you move your highly successful, sportswear store to the next shopping center in Sydney? So you got one in Sydney and you move it to the next suburb. Is that how you'd think about it? Of course you would. The market is big enough, guys, more than big enough. And that's the best thing about dropshipping stores, is you can expand it out to be as big as you want. You don't need to branch out and get brick and mortar stores. Okay, how do these stores survive? They're making $400,000 or $500,000 a year in one location, and then they move to the next location. They're not moving to Texas. They're not moving to Manchester. Okay, so that's why I focus on local Australian stores, because the market is more than big enough, and you can really hyper focus your attention and ad spend on our market because you know it and understand it already. There it is, guys. I'm not sure if it was a rant, but it was just a little bit of insight, guys, okay? So anyway, look, if you want to find out more about sort of how I do what we do, me and Grant, we've got some free training, like I said, in the description below. 2 hours of awesome content there, guys. It'll give you a massive head start. So if you're just starting out, I highly recommend you check that out. And let's wrap this one up. Look, if you're loving the content, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification, and give us a thumbs up. We love that. And that's it. Until next time, keep living the dream. See you in the next video. Cheers.